start at 6:30, so we'll get started. We know people are still coming in. Can you hear me, Kat? Okay, can you hear me now? I don't know how loud I'm talking. I have such a bad cold. Can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you, guys. Welcome. Thank you for being here. We know people are still coming in, so we'll encourage you to do so. We do ask if you anticipate taking some time to speak this evening that you sign in. We will use our sign-in sheet to recognize speakers. We are really, really thrilled to have community here because this is a community problem. We are so proud of this Mary E. Theler Wetlands and Community Center, and it's been a wonderful part of our community for many, many years. But as you probably know by now, we are getting to a point where we don't have a way to finance it anymore in the very near future, and we need to figure out a way to do that together so we can maintain this resource for the community. Our purpose in being here tonight is to talk about ideas to do that, to keep this a vital part of our community and keep it financed and keep it going into the future. We do ask that you, when you comment, that you keep your comments to that purpose for the evening. What I want to do first is recognize and thank our moderator for this evening. For this evening, we have Chris Ladner, who is a businessman in our community with Arnold Smith Insurance, and this year's president of the Chamber of Commerce. And he has been very gracious in agreeing to moderate our meeting tonight. Chris, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, so welcome. I'm going to read a quick statement here, and then I'll open it up to your ideas. So, Sam and Mary Theler left a wonderful legacy to the school district and to the community. Their intent was to benefit the children of our community by providing rich recreational opportunities. This asset includes not only the Theler Center, but some 75 acres of wetland, which is a valuable educational and recreational resource for our community. The wetlands include all 4 types of wetland and provide a useful laboratory and learning environment, as well as outdoor recreational opportunities. The Theler Wetlands property is an asset to our students and to the community at large. Over the years, the property has been supported in small part by grants and donations, but for the most part it's been supported through the Theler Trust left by Mr. Theler. The school district has relied on the trust to financially support the property because district funds cannot be used for this purpose. Unfortunately, donations and rental fees alone do not currently support all the costs of maintaining and managing the facility. The current trustees in Mellon Bank have notified the school district of their intent to dissolve the trust. Its assets would then be distributed among the 3 beneficiaries, the school district, the Boy Scouts, and the Girl Scouts. The school district knows how much this resource means to the community, and they value its contributions to the education of our children. In opening the meeting tonight, the district is asking the community to help generate ideas for the financial support and the use of the Theler property. This is an opportunity to share your ideas for the future with the community and the members of the school board. The school board will listen to the ideas shared today and review the input before discussing the next steps during a regularly scheduled board meeting. The forum today is not an opportunity for dialogue with the board, but an information gathering event only. No final decisions will be made today. Please remember that the goal of this meeting is only to get your ideas for the future use and funding support of the Theler property, so please keep your comments limited to that subject. If you have questions for the school board or want to discuss other subjects relating to the Theler property, you will need to attend a school board meeting or communicate with the board through mail or email. So we ask that you keep your remarks to 3 minutes, a limit that will be enforced at my discretion. If you have more to share, we will be happy to take written comments as well. please make sure you have signed in if you intend to speak, which Dan said earlier. And you're welcome to come up here and speak from the podium here, or Dan is going to have a microphone down there, so you can use either one. So we look forward to hearing all of your ideas. And I will say that that statement right there was about 3 minutes, so that's about what we're looking for. Okay. So I'm just going to go in order of people who signed in, and the first is Kat Ross.
Hi everyone, I'm Kat Ross, personal citizen, so please forget whatever else I do in the community. I didn't win the lottery, so darn. I ran that by Dana and I told her what I wanted to do with it, and it was to save Theler for the school district. I came up with SAT, Science, Arts, and Technology, because let's face it, that's what our country needs. Because the Gates Foundation may not think this is a great idea, but what the heck, let's try. I almost wanted to start a private thing, but because I'm with another agency, I can't get political, because nonprofits aren't allowed to do that. But I thought, I'd like to write no on the levy and write $1 more in the right-hand column. But I don't know what the ballot looks like yet. Because we've got to save this. It is us, the people that are our age, a few younger, I would hope, because it is their kids that are in school, it's our grandkids. I want us to come together as a community. I don't want to see us complaining. I want to see us do something. And I know we can do it because I have heard story after story about how strong Belfair was 100 years ago. I've got a time capsule in my office that tells me how much people care about Belfair. And I want it to be for the good of my 6 grandchildren and those to come after. So please, put your heads together, think of something so outside the box that we do it. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Martin Ellis. That's all good about the microphone. Everybody here okay? We talk loud enough?
Right. All right. So, we fell into wetlands. I ask that you, when you think of that, you know, what does that bring to your mind? To me, it brings to mind the family and friends that I grew up with, the school, teachers, coaches, and it brings to mind an undeserved gift of a Heavenly Father of grace to us. So I believe that if you are here today about a piece of property, that your vision is small. We are the recipients of an undeserved gift, heirs to a legacy, and executors of a dream. Whether you rent or own a house or property, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're staying for a lifetime or just passing through, this is a gift to you. It is your backyard. It is your pathway to peace or a New Year's resolution. It is a place of discovery for young and old. It's a place to learn, and it's a place to dream. I see community as a people, and the expression of the community being not the sum of its parts, but the infinite potential that exists when each individual reaches their full unique potential and works in concert with one another. I believe in my heart that you and I, as a community, are not only part of the vision, but are the vision. We are forever, I hope, connected, co-owners of a gift, a legacy, and a dream. How we move forward will be a legacy that we leave. They considered us family, and we should believe that. They considered us family and left us with their prized possessions, their prized possessions, their hearts and their souls. It's not about property. I would love to tell you exactly how to move forward. However, I am limited in my understanding of the complexity of the documents necessary in making an educated decision. I do know that as we move forward, that we should do it with the Theler's hearts and souls in mind. And we should do it to the full of how it is written. It was their legacy. It was their gift. There are people in this room that know a whole lot, that have a whole lot of paperwork. Please speak to them. Thank you very much.
You round up for this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Rick Calvin.
Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. If I start trailing off, please raise your hand. It's been a long day. I tell you, I really appreciate the opportunity to provide some input, but I couldn't agree more with the two previous speakers. I think our thoughts are aligned in many, many ways. I think what I'd like to add to that is that I believe the issue of the Theler Wetlands and the Community Center is a very special circumstance. I think that it warrants special consideration above the normal scope of what school districts do. This was a significant gift and should be honored. I believe that the school board should give that consideration to the commitment of what the Thelers gave to us. And I would like to, I think it's appropriate for the school district to embrace the opportunities we have with this property, with the center, with the wetlands and the school and the actual classroom down there, that ownership of the wetlands and the community center. I think there's an opportunity, instead of trying to move away from it, there's an opportunity to embrace it. And specifically, what I would want to add to that is that one, I think that building should be repaired. It's the school district's responsibility, it's always been the school district building. And I know from personal interaction that the condition of that school building has prevented some other opportunities from being able to move forward with this. I also believe that, I know it's been a condition that's prevented that. I would also think it's very appropriate to use the wetlands and the community center as a platform for the school district, for the students, for learning opportunities. In my school days, I was involved with Distributed Education Clubs of America, DECA. Tell you what a great platform when I was in school. An opportunity to learn in an environment, business, skills, life skills. It was a really impressionable program for me when I was younger. I look at the Theler Wetlands, we embrace that as an educational platform and maybe use this as an idea, as a DECA platform. An opportunity to learn about how to run businesses, the facets that go with that could lead on to, how to grant write, how to manage budgets, how to develop budgets. I think the opportunities are endless. I think it's also important there's an opportunity that it could be a place for students to gain public service. So I know as children go on, students go on to college, that public service is an important piece of how they prepare for college and what that community getting in certain colleges. What a great opportunity. So I just want to add that I think we have a significant opportunity here. I think we have a commitment to a gift given to the community, and I would really hope that as a community we can move forward with keeping that in our public domain and use it for the benefit of our students and for the benefit of the community. That's all. Thank you very much.
Mike Porter. Hello, my name is Michael Porter. I work for the Cement Masons and Plasterers Union, Local 528. And I have other friends in this neighborhood that also work for the same union and are willing to put in the effort to pour concrete for these kind of things. I started this thing on Facebook. It's called the Belfair Community Network. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. And what I would like to do is start a GoFundMe account, put it on the network. I have over 3,000 people on the network right now, and anybody in the community can help. There's one resource that I have that we can get information out to people in the community, and if we start a GoFundMe account, but I want to make sure that the money gets into the right hands, and I don't know how all that kind of stuff works, okay? I heard stories about lots of money disappearing through this, and I don't want it to happen again. And that's my idea. I would like to have a little kid's spray park there. We can all take our kids there. We're going to play in the summertime in the water. You know, a GoFundMe account, people from the community, people would be willing to put money into this. So that's my idea. Hope you guys like it. Mary Spolota.
Where would you like me?
If you could use a microphone, it'd be great.
You want me to use that one right
Do we
there?
have a working microphone? Yeah? Were any of the microphones working?
I think they're working, you got two of them on at the same time, you got feedback.
Okay, Dave. How's this? You started this by saying generate ideas for financial support and use this Theler. People have talked about wanting to save the building, and the building was moved across the street. There's a lot of problems with it. Arla, shame on you. The building was moved across the street. There are sections of it that are separated from the other. I think repairing it would be very difficult. I would like to see the fire department use it and burn it down. In its place, I would love to see some small ball fields, t-ball, soccer, and these are for the youngest children in our community. You drive down SR3 and you would see children out there playing their games, and I think it would just be wonderful. As far as the wetlands part, it used to be an educational area. We had teachers that would have used the classroom in the wetlands. I have no idea if the school district uses it anymore, but they could. The other thing I don't know is if the school district wants to try to get rid of this property or hang on to it as the owner. That's something that needs to be answered. If they own it, then they need to find a suitable nonprofit to come in and, I think, handle the wetlands area. And maybe the upper area and the wetlands area could be two separate. I don't know. That's something for people to think about. The wetlands is wonderful. Great educational. It's great for people with no pets that can walk down there. And then the upper area for little kids, so, and burn the building.
opportunity to comment, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite each of the board members and anyone from the public to read this document and then take a walk with me down on the Theler trails. Let me talk and walk with you before you make a decision. I've done a lot of research. I have 25 pages of comments that I want to submit into the record. Here are some of the excerpts from that. This Sun article that came out over the weekend was very comprehensive. However, there's much more the community needs to be aware of before they can make informed comments and recommendations to our elected school board. Here's one quick example. There's an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, and an Access Easement Agreement that was entered into in 1991.
Cam, I'm going to have to interrupt you. So, like I said earlier, the purpose of this forum is to bring ideas for support and continuing.
These are ideas that need to be researched before people can make educated comments.
Well, that's not what this forum's for. This forum's for.
Okay, well, please take my comments and enter them into the record then, and I'll email them to the school.
Brad Carey?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Brad Carey, can you hear me? Rick Delvin took one of my ideas. I came up with 4 different ideas, but one that I thought was really number one is to we need to expand the educational courses down at the Theler Center. I mean, the Theler Wetlands, the Theler portables down there, that whole area, 75 acres, 5 acres, you can't build a laboratory, classroom laboratory like we have here. It's priceless. I know we have current classes going on a daily basis down there. If we expand those classes, we've got sustainable living activity or educational courses. We've got science classes. We've got aqua farming. We've got, you've got just about everything you can do down there. And if you tried to buy a facility like that, you couldn't buy it. So I'm glad to hear that everybody seems to be supportive of keeping the Theler property in ownership of the school district, even if it gets leased out or, as Ken said, a memorandum of understanding with another nonprofit like the Salmon Center or Port of Allen or even a for-profit corporation. I run a for-profit corporation, but it's just fine. I mean, right language and contracts, and school district can win, and the community can win. But, the bottom line is this, is that I also took business management in high school, and it was a really good course. And to see each class coming up through the ranks of this high school, be able to participate, even at the middle school level, participate, so by the time they become seniors, they can look at the work that they've done. They can go out and solicit partnerships with the fire department, with Chamber of Commerce, with Mason County Parks. I know they use it for a homeless shelter sometimes. And I know Mary wants to burn the building down, and maybe that's the way to go, but there needs to be a mission statement established, and good, sound business practices and management practices need to be implemented and enforced. Otherwise, I'm concerned that money might disappear again. How much money do we need? I've seen the 2014-2015 budget, and there it said there was $68,000 in expenses and $71,000 projected income. Well, that's a net gain of $3,000 a year. Whether they stuck to that or not, I don't know. But I still don't know how much money this district needs to operate better. And I've been at it for about a year and a half. So it'd be nice to know, is it $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year? And then let's work towards that. I mean, if it's $50,000 a year, people can probably come up with that pretty quickly. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Great. Thank you. Bert Gerhardt.
I guess I'll stay down here. I want to climb up there. The way I see the whole thing is I've been behind supporting Theler at all costs. However, it's a financial deal. Do we have the finances to do it? There's legalities involved. The school legally can't support a community center.
I'll go along with Mary. Let's burn that building down. We really don't need that another community hall in Belfair. You're gonna have the senior center coming up. They'll take care of the Belfair needs as far as centers. I think it's an albatross right now. It's old, decrepit. Get rid of that building. Those classrooms down there are very nice. I can justify that the school district can keep those classrooms because that's part of their umbrella. It's education. It's their classrooms. And the same thing for the walk. I could justify keeping that because it's part of an educational process for the school, and it doesn't take that much for keeping the walks open. And I'm sure the Salmon Center will be more than happy to go along with that since the walks now go through their property also. Like I say, it's finances. How do we do this? Donations, generally, I don't think work. It's very difficult because what's here today is gone tomorrow. The Theler Trust was set up as a perpetual trust to fund this. For as long as I've been in Belfair, this was a trust. The money can't run out. This is for the community. It's going to be there forever. Then you got management involved. You got banks. They took their cut every single year. There wasn't enough income. Well, we'll sell properties to pay ourselves, to keep getting the income. And next thing you knew, you didn't have anything to generate any more income on. So now let's just abandon it because there isn't enough income to pay us, as the trust. So you can write the trust off. You can write all the good intentions of Sam Theler off that he did as far as the financing. He did a great job. It wasn't carried out well. Now we have to overcome how do we maintain that property and do it in a legal manner. Like I say, I would close that visitor center down or the community center. We don't really need that building, and it's an albatross and an expense drain. The rest of it I don't think is that expensive. We can justify those classrooms for education of our kids. I'll end on that. Thank you.
All right. I think it's Chet Trask.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
And I'll pass it this time.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Mike Sutherland.
Hi, I'm Mike Sutherland, happy citizen of this community. Tear the building down, sell sponsorship for the wetlands, turn the area where the building is now into playgrounds, which is what Sam and Mary wanted. Keep it simple. I can't see any sense in keeping that building there. I can see a lot of sense in our fire people getting some practice in this. Real simple. Remove the building, sell sponsorship, and you'll cringe when I say this. But I've had Husky football season tickets for 36 years. I damn near cried when they sold sponsorship at the stadium until I realized they're bringing in $6 million a year. I don't see a problem with having someone reputable that we choose to sponsor this. That way you don't have to accept as many donations as you might to support all this. Mary, I thank you for leading the way on this. This is not an easy decision. You also want to take a look at Yankee Stadium, which was there since 1920. Nobody wanted to build it down or to tear it down to the point where it just couldn't be properly maintained, either financially or a safety issue. So, once again, some hurt feelings. Burn it down, sell some sponsorship, find a way to get ball fields there, and also a visitor center. Serve all the purposes and be a lot less expensive to handle. Thanks.
Jimmy Farmer. Wish we could bring a microphone to you. here? All right, pretty tough.
So I'm not a really loud talker, so you can't hear me raise your hand. The Port of Allen looked at the building and we really wanted to do something. So as our maintenance crew came in and looked at the building, the structure is bad. It's really bad. And I agree, it needs to go. But what I would do also is put together a board of people from our community. We have a lot of really intelligent people in our community with all kinds of backgrounds. We need some financial people, some construction people, we need some project managers, we need all kinds of people for that board. And maybe the school board can help establish that criteria. And then I say, take the building out. And what we need to put in its place is what's bringing communities together right now. Our grandsons play on premium soccer teams right now. If you build some premium soccer fields out here, you build it, they'll come, and they'll pay for it. And it's lots of animals. And you could build maybe 2 big soccer fields down there. And I think you could pay for that. So premium soccer, if your kids or your grandkids are involved with that, like if you go over to the other side of the bridge, over in Renton, they have indoor and outdoor premium soccer fields. And that's where they're paying big money. So I think that's a good idea. It's kind of the future nowadays. So I love baseball and I love basketball and I love football, but soccer, premium soccer is really bad in that market.
Hey, hands.
Hi. My name's Faye Hands, and I do a twice-a-month bird walk at Theler Wetlands, and with a birding friend of mine, John Riegsacker. It's a real important project for us, not just for our birding, but to offer something for the community. I also like to be involved with children. I haven't had too much of an opportunity yet with that, but I think the resource is just awesome. And we're a very lucky community to have that available. My main concern, I don't know much about buildings, but I do know about birds and I know about land, and you can replace a building. You can't replace a wetland, and you can't replace birds when they're dead. So that's my focus. And I want to make sure that there is a place for people to go, to get away from hectic life, a place where we can walk the trails, we can look at birds, we can look at plants, and we can be a community together. I brought some information on an organization that is, I didn't know about them until about a few months ago. They're called pacificbirds.org. And their whole reason for being is to find financial arrangements, grants, and match grants with communities and properties that could be lost without the funding. And so I brought the information. I did try to contact her to come tonight, but she did not have the time in her schedule. But I wanted to give that information. And also, my husband is a professor of economics at University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, and he would be willing to assist with figuring out financial, because I don't know economics myself. I'm not the professor, but reading the information about how the trust was ripped apart by banks and administrative fees. My husband, as a professor of economics, would be more than willing to help with his knowledge and time to offer suggestions about how going forward we could keep the money grabbers away. So I just wanted to give that information, and I guess that's it. Thanks.
Phil Wolf.
tonight I haven't really thought about. That's great, and you know, and it's great to have this forum. I come from the trail community. I work on trails. That's what I do as a profession, and you know, it's just a tremendous resource. I think that's where the value is. It's in the trails, and trails are not necessarily cheap to manage. Not that type of more of an urban trail system. So, you know, I mean, it's going to take money and it's going to take work. You know, one idea I have expressed is the idea that, you know, perhaps the Washington State Parks would have an interest in managing that facility. There could be a Discover Pass. There's funding through the general fund for state parks. There's also funding through the Discover Pass. There are other state parks in the area. I was at the Salmon Center event, and I was speaking to a couple of folks about how that could possibly happen. I understand in the will it says something that there cannot be fees charged for the facility, but you know, I'm sure that things can be worked out, and if we get the right names, Norm Dix, you know, other politicians who perhaps are still active, you know, they can make things happen. You know, one thing is for sure, you know, I do not want the school district, other than the classrooms that are there, and those are great. I mean, that is not the school district that my kids went to and that I fund through my taxes to pay for a recreational opportunity. You know, I mean, I lost a son to suicide, and so I know the importance of what the school district can bring to our kids. And I don't believe managing a facility and trails for the community is one they should be focused on. Thank you.
That is the last name that I've got on the speaker list. Is there anybody else that wanted to get up for their 3 minutes?
Just one parting comment.
Yeah.
Brett Terry again. With respect to whatever we decide to do, I think it's critical that we stick to those terms and conditions that are specified in those last will and testaments of both wills. And also, in this case, the 1980 environmental impact statement. You know, whether you're climbing Mountain here, Mount McKinley, or visiting go up to the islands, they have you know, so many people that they allow to visit these places. And my only concern is that if we don't kind of adhere to some sort of standard, we could have busloads upon busloads upon busloads of people coming in, not have the human infrastructure to support it, you know, law enforcement, trash, roads, whatever. And in addition, the environmental impact side. I mean, we live out in it now, and we've developed property out there. We've already seen what our development has done to the herrings they're trying to feed, they're trying to come out of the house,
Sure.
disturb them. So if you get too much activity, bird watching can end up disappearing and everything. There's a fine line, there's a balance there. We've got a jewel here, and it's great to have people come in and use it, but if we get too many, we might, I don't know, it's a tough deal. You don't want to, you know, make it a private place. It's public.
Deanna, was there anything else you wanted to add? Finish up here?
Sure, as we finish up, can you guys hear me? I don't know the cold. One of the things I wanted to make clear is what we looked at very closely, and we tried to find out, can we add the expenses of Theler to our levies, or can we run a bond for that? Those are outside the scope of the work of the school district, and the answer legally is no, we cannot. And that's why we're having this meeting. There are other agencies that could run those kinds of levies or bond elections, but a school district cannot. So I heard some really interesting ideas tonight. Some we haven't heard at all before, and I know that the board is going to be very excited to be able to sit down and study. We will have to now gather some information to support some of those ideas so they can look at costs and benefits and those kinds of things. And I think this is a really good start to a conversation that we're going to have to keep going.
All right.
Thank you.
Got somebody over here.
Oh, yes. Sweetheart, you did raise your hand. Did you want to say something?
Hi, I'm Madeline Trask Connolly, and it helps people like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts learn. So I think we should keep the building there for people to be happy with Theler Center.
My name is Dina Penhale, and I raised two kids right now that's come all the way up through grade school, and one's a senior, first year graduating through this beautiful new high school. One next year, and you know, they've work done in the classrooms at Theler, and they've put their work in there. And I also have a 2.5-year-old son who absolutely loves Theler. We're there about 3 times a week, going, visiting the trails and the playground, and he also knows the center as the birthday house because he loves to celebrate his birthdays there, and his sisters have celebrated birthdays there. And he told me to come and tell everyone that he loves Theler and to not let it go, not let anything happen to it. So I'm speaking for my son today. Thanks.
I just want to say that if you'd like to help Theler right now, January 30th, murder mystery, 5:30, show up. I'm the executive chef. I'm not doing the cooking, I'm just character. But come on out, $20 a person. Get your tickets early because they're $25 at the door. But come help them right now because they've got to keep the doors open now until the decision's made.